Hi, and welcome to Pilates Done Right. My name is Melanie. I'm a comprehensively certified Pilates instructor and personal trainer. And today I'm going to show you how to cue the single leg footwork on the reformer. So we're going to go over the full choreography as well as some ways to break it down. For equipment setup, I've got my Footbar on high. And I've got 2 springs on. You can play with the springs a little bit. You could go a little bit lighter, like a red-blue, so a heavy and a medium spring. You could go a little bit heavier and do 3 reds, but that does get a little harder to manage the lumbopelvic stability that way, so make sure you do that with a strong client. Otherwise, 2 reds is a nice place to start. So I'll take the position here, and I'll just say as I'm getting into position, I learned the hard way to make sure that the clients start this exercise on the toes on the Footbar, because if you try to do the flex point of the toes when your heel is on the Footbar, it's just a little bit more awkward and next to impossible. So start them with the toes, and I would tell my clients to lift their left leg to tabletop, or you can say right leg, as long as you give them a specific leg. So then to begin, I'll just go through the full choreography first, and we'll just show what it eventually will look like, and then we can break it down. So to begin, I would say straighten both legs. And you'll notice I emphasize both because people will often straighten one. So straighten both legs, and if we're still confused, I'll tell them that top one goes up to the ceiling, So here we are. Then we'll lower the top leg. Lift the top leg, flex both feet, point both toes, bend both knees, and bring it in. So let me run that again. Straighten both legs, lower the top leg, lift the top leg, flex both feet, point both toes, bend both knees, and bring it in. So a couple of finer points on cueing that. You'll notice, as I mentioned, I emphasize the word both, straighten both legs. And then I might even say lower the top leg down to the Footbar, bring it back up to the ceiling as I'm teaching them for the first time. And then flex both feet, point both toes, and I'll go kind of slow so they can process that. Bend both knees to come back to that start position. So that's how I would cue that. And then as they get more comfortable, straighten both legs, lower, lift, flex, point, and bend. So as they get more comfortable, they get less cues. Straighten, lower, lift, flex, point, and bend. So that's how I would cue it there at the end for someone who's done it 100 times and knows it well and can get through it. If I want to break that down and make it a lot more simple, I'm going to take this to the right leg now. Just start on the toes and only straighten the leg of the Footbar, the leg with the foot that's on the Footbar. Try to figure out how to say that. So just straighten the Footbar leg and bend as if you're doing regular footwork, but with the one knee just remaining in tabletop. Then you can add to that. You can say straighten both legs, one going up to the ceiling. Bend both knees, bring it back in. Whoop. Straighten both legs, bend both knees. So that would be the next step. Straighten and bend. You can also mix it up a little bit. You can go straighten, flex both feet, point both toes, bend. Straighten, flex both feet, point both toes, bend. Or you can do it the other way, straighten, lower, lift, then go ahead and bend. Again, straighten, lower, lift, and bend. And then once they're kind of comfortable with all of that, doing all the different variations there, then I would start them real slow again. Just straighten both legs, lower the top leg, lift the top leg, flex both feet, point both toes, bend both knees, and bring it in. Last one, straighten, lower, lift, flex, point, and bend. So that's how I would cue that. And it's a lot of fun. People will get mixed up. It requires a lot of mind-body focus. You really have to be paying attention to what you're doing and not thinking about what you're cooking for dinner that night. So you really have to be in the moment. And usually it produces some giggles because somebody somewhere is going to mess up. Oftentimes it's me as a teacher. But I will also say that I sat in the car on the way to teaching Pilates when I was learning this exercise, just going through that in my, just getting used to saying those words, straighten both legs, lower lift, flex, point, bend, learning to just let those words roll off. So practice it when you're not teaching clients, practice it on yourself, and just get used to saying it first, and maybe even coaching yourself through it, coach a friend through it, but just kind of get a little bit used to saying it. If you mess up, own it. You can be like, well, that was not how that was supposed to go, or you can be like, that's what I want you to do today. So there's ways to manage it when you mess up. And I say when because we all do. We're humans and we're trying to get words out. And sometimes it's the end of the day and the words just get all jumbled. So anyway, that's my take on how to teach that exercise. I love it. It's always fun. And I hope that helps. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.